Should we do a little Huell Hauser?
I think we should. I think we owe it to the people.
Huell is a fixture over here out in SoCal. Does a little something called California's Gold, and he goes out and just talks to people about nothing. And he's a huge ex-Marine who probably enjoys the company of other Marines. And
I know where he is at all times now.
You have to. You've tagged him?
Well, because of the people I know a lot of people in town. Inevitably, I get a tweet or a text today. I'm down here. Huell Hauser's here.
Oh, right. Yeah. Don't come. Don't show up.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah, because you'll be stomped by a size
eventually
14
I am going to meet
stomper.
him. Yeah, the last thing he's going to say to me in this life is, I can't bury you alive if you throw all the dirt out of the hole when I shovel it in.
So I believe Huell is doing an old wood adventure. He's going to talk to some people about petrified wood.
Let's fire off intro.
Sounds like the TV movie for Golden Girls.
We'll have an intro.
Okay, our adventure begins.
It's time to break down the game film from PBS's Huell Hauser.
This technically is called
Huell's Jewels. Wow. On the Adam Carolla Show.
All right. And again, when he went to the Baghdad Cafe and interviewed the guy who was on the phone but not mic'd up, who was there and not there. I mean, it's weird. Like, wouldn't you call ahead to the Baghdad Cafe just to find out if they were open and see if the manager was there?
You know, it's funny. He is basically, if Vincent D'Onofrio did not off himself in Full Metal Jacket, he might have come out the other end of that war and be Huell Hauser now.
Right.
Yeah, it's just gone the completely other way.
What is your major malfunction, numbnuts?
And I see a picture of Burt Lancaster on the wall. Did Burt come here to the cafe, or do you know Burt? You just had the picture. Okay. It's like
giant scoop.
When I heard that, I was like,
official.
I'm in.
Right.
And then he went to
they didn't trim it up in post either.
He went to the old guy who was collecting gravel. And not geodes, just aggregate. The stuff that turns cement into concrete. That was all it was. The stuff that's in your driveway as we speak. Entombed forever in the plastic cement, the Portland cement. All right. Let's, I think he's talking to some park ranger about petrified wood. See what we got here.
That could be any movie.
It was one of those California adventures I'll never forget. The day, years ago, I hiked high up into the White Mountains to see the oldest continuously living things on Earth, the bristlecone pines. They're twisted and gnarly, and they should be, because many of them are over 3,000 years old. There's something to see. And now, all these years later, I'm in the mood once again to see some more old California wood. So that's what this adventure is all about. We're going in search of some more historic old California wood.
Well, I wonder how they cleared that music.
I thought some of the oldest gnarled wood in California was at Hef's place.
Yes, usually you can find that floating in the grotto. Driftwood, I believe they call it.
Ladies who would like to spend 10 beautiful hours with Don Adams.
I was about to say that, who's actually been dead, but still, they've still not removed him from the grotto.
He's still there. Would you believe Don Adams' corpse?
It always had to be funny because Hugh Hefner played cards with the same four guys and watched old movies.
Don Adams, Pat,
the
Tonight Show writer,
right? Yeah,
you know who I mean,
right?
That dude,
right? Yeah, and the point is whoever the
Red Buttons was one of them.
Whoever the 21-year-old floozy du jour he was dating at the time. Imagine him explaining who Don Adams was to, and it was a revolving door of peroxide blonde retards he was currently fucking. Don Adams is a superstar. And I'm going, he can't be a superstar. I've never heard of him. You show respect when Mr. Adams
I don't think you understand the vast sums of respect that Mr. Adams is certainly worth. Perhaps you've heard of a little film called The Nude Bomb. Don't pretend you haven't.
From 1979. He was a pioneer. Before him, people only spoke into high tops, not wingtips. All right, so that is Huell and his Nude Bomb. Don Adams. That's when they made. It was one of those. It was right up there with the Super Mario Brothers, where they made the movie 11 years after anyone gave a shit about the TV series
but
or the
before it was
video
old
game.
enough to redo again.
Right. There's a sweet spot of either do it while it's hot or let a new generation, whatever. They did it right.
It was the modern day equivalent of The Nude Bomb was like the second X-Files movie. Mm-hmm. Like, what? They did another? It's just
right.
like, no, and it hasn't been gone long enough for me to want to see it again.
Right.
Pat McCormick.
Nice job.
Thank you, sweetheart. Yes. All right. That is Huell. Do we have another clip of Huell's Gold?
And look at this. This is why it wins that award. When you're standing right here and looking at it, trust me, I don't know whether the camera does this justice or not. We're kind of shooting through the wire fence.
It didn't do the Menudo factory justice, so I don't think it's going to do this.
Real. Just like bark on a tree.
Hold on. She's saying bark grows on a tree. I'm riding as fast as I can here. Huell was looking at a medium-sized tree that had fallen over.
Huell had found the one place in California where a tree fell over and they fenced it off.
Right. Now, what you have here looks like a giant version of something my granddaddy called a twig. Is that what I'm looking at?
When I heard there was a giant fenced-off, gnarly old chunk of wood here, I naturally assumed I was going to meet action great Doug McClure.
Now, you would expect when you saw a tree falling that it would be made of wood, but I was blown away that it was covered in something called bark.
Now I know what you're thinking. Why do dogs yelp at a tree and how does it stick? No. Here's another thing I've learned today. There are words with more than one meaning.
Mm-hmm. For instance, gay
could mean happy, and it also means you're in the 1890s.
All right, that is Huell being blown away by, again, a medium-sized tree that
Huell being blown
over.
away by a large piece of wood. This sentence has also been said in a slightly altered form.
I would, again, I think the greatest thing you could do for somebody is have Huell just come by and marvel at your mediocre life.
Yeah.
You say you're a postal sorter. That's amazing.
Yeah. Now, this is a porch that seems to have wire mesh separating it to keep the bugs out. I would describe this as a fenced-in porch.
Yeah, that's called a screen.
I can't I gotta go to the bathroom. I'm gonna go to the bathroom. I can't stand it. When I get excited, I just flush out. I flush out because I go into panic. So I've got, oh my Christ! I have to describe this if you can get in there. There's a small room upstairs with what looks like a porcelain bowl filled with water built into the floor.
No, that's a toilet.
Will this go onto the kitchen sink if I dump in here?
No. It goes into a drainage pipe and out to the back.
You thought of everything!
See how good you'd feel about your one-bedroom apartment?
Huell needs to be part of the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Any kid feel better.
Don't you get wet when it rains? No, you can't see the sky. There's something on top of the walls that protects you from the sky.
That's called a roof, Huell.
I gotta go again. Where's the water bowl? Oh, thank God.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, should we show...
Sorry, I just found the world's greatest picture of Huell Hauser. Hang on a second.
Here we go. Whoa!
Wow. He is interviewing the Osmonds. And he looks like Clark Kent.
Yeah. Now, Jimmy here does not know this, but once I eat his flesh, I become him.
Now,
he is looking quite longingly at, if I'm not mistaken, Alan Osmond.
Wow, that would be very sad if you knew the difference between Alan. It looks like Little Donnie to the left or the right. I can't tell, but
they were quite brazen in their ripping off of Elvis's stage wear too.
They
they're like they're going to parachute out of an airplane.
Just got his tailor and said, "Make us some Elvis jumpsuits minus all the extra material around the midriff."
Can you email me that photo?
Boy.
Can we also talk about Huell's hair in this photo?
Mm-hmm.
I think he had it relaxed.
Yes.
Yeah, it is...
I use something called a hot comb that women of color turn me on to.
That hairstyle could only be described as the groovy Hitler.
Yeah. That's what it is.
If Hitler had a record label...
Right.
Short-lived dance fad, too.
Would you like to sing your songs on my label?
Right.
Yes. Hitler at Monterey Pop
Knot.
is basically what that look is.
Mrs. Partridge, you cannot ground Danny tonight. He's got to play the show.
Wow, that is a great shot. All right, let's listen to another.
And you
snippet
can't say Marie's not in that shot because she was already throwing up.
That's right.
Wait a minute. Look over here.
There you go.
You can touch gosh. You can touch these. Oh, my gosh. Look, and when the light hits it, this almost looks like wood, doesn't it?
These are considered some of the best preserved petrified trees in the world.
Look at this, Cameron. This is...
As opposed to those ones that go bad over the weekend.
It kind of has the texture.
Oh, as I said, these are
Look
very
over
well
here.
preserved.
That...
I want to show you something over here on the inside.
Wait a minute. This is stone?
Not interested.
Oh, my God.
And it's always funny, the guys he interviews with always put on their best sweatpants and concert tees.
Like, doesn't get a whole lot
they can't even throw on a pair of Dockers when Huell. How often are they interviewed?
Tree.
They always look like they are running a polygamous sect, but they're on their way to gym day.
It's been replaced by minerals.
It's always, I feel that way when I watch People's Court, like when the chicks have the curlers in their hair and the guys are wearing cutoff sweats and flip flops. Like, this is court.
It's court.
You don't have a fucking blazer for funerals and weddings and court dates. And then
I still feel that way when I see people wearing flip flops on the airplane.
Right.
Really?
Like, where are you heading?
I saw a guy in the airport the other day, literally like gym shorts and flip flops and a T-shirt getting on a plane.
It's insane. I'll see people
flip flops on an airplane rule though, because you can walk right through security just slipping them off.
You have to make people listen to that sound.
I see people traveling without pockets.
Yeah,
that seems insane to me. But yes,
it's like they're on the original Star Trek.
Yes, the jumpsuits.
Well, they have an exterior pocket, a fanny pack.
Right. Do we have one more clip of
Plus, they go into an airport, they go into a
Mm.
plane, and clothes that aren't what I would describe as boner proof.
I was about to say that. You don't want to be caught outside your house in something that is not going to cover a boner, because you never know where it's going to hit.
Yeah.
Are airplane boners a real problem?
Well, let me give you what I'd call a volatile combination here.
Please.
A couple of Michelob Ultras. Combine that with a couple. I'm looking at some pool toys in the Sky Mall, which of course, a couple of decent looking ladies lying on a raft. Now you have a stewardess on Southwest who's under 50, who's making the rounds and keeping herself in shape.
Right, doesn't take
and
much.
a little unexpected turbulence.
Oh yeah,
that's the recipe
especially
for a Sky boner.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And you're not going anywhere.
Can you wear
right.
boner retardant underwear?
Mm-hmm. And no matter how much that boner placard lights up, my cock ignores.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The captain has lit the no boner sign.
That's right.
You don't listen to that.
That's right.
That would be a great pickup line. Is the captain has lit the no boner sign, but I'm going to be in violation of the FAA.
Tampering with, disabling, or destroying the boner.
Hope there's no sky morsels on this flight, if you know what I mean.
All right. Do we have one more, Mike? Huell staring
and
at
look
a rock.
over here. Look at the size of this one.
It looks
it's
like
called
wood.
the Queen.
That's actually a dinosaur turd.
Oh, my. This is everything I ever hoped it would be. Look at this thing.
Can we pause this for 1 second?
This one's called the Queen.
The Queen is everything he ever hoped it would be. And
look at the size.
Yeah, and it's not Paul Lynn. It's just an old piece of rock.
it's weird. Huell's sort of smart because if you want to try to get a sit down with Leo DiCaprio, you're going to have to go through some hoops and talk to some publicists, and you're going to get the runaround and probably get blown off. But if you want to talk to a guy in sweatpants about a tree that fell over, he's ready 24/7.
How do you know so much about this forest? I live here. I thought you were the ranger. Oh, no, he's been dead for years. I made a wind chime of his bones.
Somebody's got to maintain the thing that takes no maintenance. It's essentially a rock that is sitting on a patch of dirt.
I'm the only one that knows how to talk to the forest, Huell.
What I like is that he tells people about their jewels. Like he tells them as if they don't know what they have.
Right. Yeah. Is that the last one, Mike? That is the last one.
That is some old wood. Speaking of old wood, we're going to see Bob Guccione's grave.
The great Huell Hauser.